peeled the zucchini, so this can make it like a white pasta, but you don't have to if you want to be more natural. Get the skin. I put it in between this thing. It's got little spikes and a little kind of a hole thing. It's got a, I've already done one, so I'm working on my second one. You let it be, this be the middle of your zucchini, and then you have, oops, well, there they went, but okay. You kind of clamp that together, and you have some kind of plate. I love this low plate that's nice and wide. And I just kind of go as fast as I can and push hard though, so it stays as one continuous noodle. You can get them out of the way a little bit. So I'm pushing together kind of like isometrics to really get those two ends together hard while I'm turning as fast as I can. That's how I learned to do it. But you work with your individual equipment. There we go. So now we've got this is a fettuccine blade, is what that one was called. We've got kind of the fettuccine, and in order to cause it to be a little more tasty, more softened, kind of like an al dente real pasta would be, is we take I'm going to say a pinch. Let's see what comes out here, make sure it's a decent amount. Let's see. I'd say about like this. So it's kind of a big pinch of Celtic sea salt. Watch me sprinkle it so you get an idea. It's as little as we can kind of thing. I'm sprinkling it around, and now I'm just kind of massaging it similar to cabbage, but this is more delicate, so I can feel it wanting to break in my hand, so I'm kind of being more gentle, but yet I want to get that little bit of salt to kind of get to everything. Gently so I don't break these nice long pieces. They're going to look nice, sort of like spaghetti noodles. These are a little thinner than real fettuccine, but, and as you might see in the background, it's kind of a glare. I'm soaking walnut and cashew, and I'm going to add, I'll show you the soaked sun-dried tomatoes. Hopefully, I can feel it. It starts to sweat a little bit from the salt. So as soon as when it's ready to serve it, though, you might hear that dehydrator. It's up in the corner there of the screen. I'm dehydrating some crackers and tacos, which reminds me I need to check those because I want to keep the taco shells moist so I can fold them over. But this is for a pasta with a kind of a sun-dried tomato cream dressing. Okay, so this is awesome. This is kind of, that is awesome to have that ready. I'm going to set it aside. Set that aside. I'm going to show you. I've got all these tomatoes. This is quite a lot, actually, of tomato. Quite a lot of tomato. So this can be just rinsed out immediately. You do get these little, this is the inside of the zucchini that you end up with. You can, Marcus and Kara have a recipe. You can kind of make them, also dehydrate them if you want, and kind of like a macaroni and cheese for kids, if you want to do that. I'm kind of not going to do that today. Not going to happen, people, today. Okay, so how much of this do I want? I'm going to pull the blender out. Check these out. They feel nice and soft. It's very packed in. I can try like a handful. one, maybe more, like two. That's a lot, but I'll add some of the juice. And this can be saved for another dish, some other meal. Put a lid on it, put it in the refrigerator though. Especially in warmer climates. So this could use garlic now. Pull this blade out. These blades are very sharp, so really be careful with the blades. I like to kind of rinse off as I go. Sometimes it doesn't need a full-on big old cleaning. It just needs rinsing sometimes. You can use a little brush to brush the blades off. Okay, so garlic. Let's do garlic. Do a couple nice. We're garlic people here. We kind of like these, so maybe 2 big ones even is okay. Maybe even 3. Yeah, why not? Let's do 3 big ones and just let it be. Cleans out the bloodstream. Gets rid of any bugs, possibly. Just kind of hit it. This is nice, easy peeling garlic. Probably too much. 3 is probably too much. I'll taste it first, because a good chef doesn't need to overpower with garlic and spices. It's kind of nice to be subtle and let the quality kind of shine through. And I think the person can add a little bit of sea salt or black pepper to their own dish. That's not like a put down to the chef at all. I think it's better err on a little less salt. And then what I think I'm going to do is just to give this a little more fresca taste, is I'm going to actually add a fresh tomato in with all that. So you have a combination, a little bit of a refreshing additive to this. Hydration. I'm going to try that. I'm adding a fresh tomato in with the sun-dried tomato. And so we've got garlic in there. This is a sauce. We can drizzle olive oil as we go. Maybe a little cracked black pepper. Okay. A little bit of olive oil. Okay. A little bit of nutritional yeast. Not as much, because we're putting a lot in almost everything. It's in the crackers, it's in the salads. Nutritional yeast. Some regular salt, Celtic salt. Salt and pepper, garlic. Now Giuliano always put a little bit of jalapeno, even just a dash. Where did I just see that? No, that's lime. Let me just like a dash of lime too. talking not enough so that it's, we're not putting, it's kind of like the chef that puts a couple drops of Tabasco. Not enough so they go, oh, there's jalapeno in this. But just enough that they're like, oh, this is a really pops, this flavor just pops. And they don't really know why. Okay, that's what we're doing with this, hopefully. Very subtle. So I'm going to put, that's even kind of a lot, but I'm going to put this much, a slice and the tip. In fact, that might be a much, but we're doing that. And then I'm just going to do kind of a half of a lime, kind of squeeze, getting the seeds out, doing kind of a squeeze of lime. There. Just to make that tomato pop. Every tomato sauce you've seen has some kind of, a little bit of sort of acid in it, you know? So this is a little bit of acid. And it's going to be for the, but before I blend that, I'm going to, just going to check out these tacos. These are going to be tacos, so I want them pliable. So what I can do, I'm going to flip them and then kind of, yeah, I knew that was going to happen, but I just was being very flippant. I was being very flippant. I'm good though, I made it. I survived, or they survived. So we flip it and peel back. I had put a little bit of oil on the, I'm going to try to kind of gently maybe go over this way. Should I do it this way? Okay, I need to put something inside there so it doesn't stick together. What does she do? I can't remember. My friend Susan had like a trick. What did she put in there? Maybe just like a spoon or something would do it, honestly. Like I have these wooden utensils. I'm going to kind of place the utensil in between the ends so that we can have these for our tacos. I'm going to use a little wooden, whoops. Just, that's what I'm going to do for now, and then put them back in. Whoops, what was that? Oh, good Lord. Oh, I see. Yeah, I gotta be careful. Oh, shoot. Are they still on here? Okay. They're there, but the problem is, yeah, got all these extra sheets and stuff. Oh, my Dios. Okay, not gonna cuss. But yeah, I've got 3 of those. Let's just take out one that's not being used. Because these are taller now, I've got to make more room so they don't just cause an issue. So, but I was going to just show you, these guys are the big long crackers, which we can score this here for the nice people. Score. Oh, this is a perfect time to score it. Let me taste that. It's a little raw still. Tasty though. Oh, you can't really see. See that? Just doing it like this so you can see. You can normally do it on a table on a hard surface. You just score it one way. We can flip them in a little while. They're fine. I need to finish this sauce. Well, I'm excited about that. Normally you actually kind of flip them and then score them, but let's get the sauce done. So let's get this started. Turn it all the way down. I'm going to add just a dash of sweetness with a few dates in there, which would have been good to kind of soak them with it, but I forgot to soak them in there. It's okay though, and it's a little late. If it would have been nice if it would already have been in there, but I just realized a little bit of sweetness. These are very small dates, so I'm going to guess 2.5, maybe 3. You know that there's sugar in tomato sauce. And then, just for the record too, I'm going to put a spoonful of chickpea miso. Just to round out the flavors. I'm going to put like a medium, kind of a rounded teaspoon. It's not as big as it looks. That's probably too much. But okay, so let's do that. Maybe a little squirt more of lime there. Okay, let's try that. And what I was going to say is because of the cashew, as you whip it, it starts to thicken. Smell your blender getting too hot, turn it off. So let's just take a look. It's not a real dark, it's definitely a tomato crema. We'll take a nice big bite. That looks amazing. Oh wow, that is insanely good. That is like insanely delicious. So we put this into, a glass jar right away, or you plate it. For my client, I'm going to put some in a jar for her tomorrow, for her to have left over. And then I'll label it that this is somewhat. I mean, if you're doing all raw foods and you're starting exercising and you're doing all raw and that's a big change for you and you need to drop some weight and release it, you can still lose weight and eat this. But if you're trying to eat this and have a bunch of other stuff and eat all day long and eat heavy breakfast, no, you'll gain weight from it. Looking for lids in all the right places. Looking for lids. So this is for, I guess for a lunch tomorrow. Maybe a little more. No, that's plenty for a lunch tomorrow with pasta on the side. So I will plate this and then take a shot of it. Take some. So we have these noodles now. And then you have like a creamy type of, it's not an Alfredo and it's not a marinara. They meet, what's that called? There's a name for that. It's delicious. It should be really good together. You could sprinkle a couple walnuts on top and a little bit, make yourself a Rawmesan if you want, which is kind of a garlic pulsed with Brazil nut. in something like this that's just for, say this is just for herbs, not coffee, you would put, or a dry, which I might do right now. Actually, I might do that right now. In a dry blender, put a couple of Brazil nuts, the head of garlic that's sitting here waiting, and a dash of nutritional yeast and salt, and you just pulse it, and it's like Parmesan. We call it Rawmesan. Let's do that. Okay, well, okay, where's the Brazil nuts? Where did they go? Are they down here? Where, oh, where are my brushes? I might have put them in the refrigerator. Yes, I did. Okay, so I'm going to get some Brazil nuts. But like, because the blender needs, I don't really need that. If you see, this is for coffee. Otherwise, if something small like this is actually better because you can make small amounts. I have to make a little bit more of an amount, but I'm going to put about a handful of Brazil nuts. I'm going to kind of chop up this. Okay, where's the, oh yeah. I'm going to kind of chop up, smash the, I'm going to smash this garlic a little bit down. There we go. Kind of throw that in there. It's a little bit like a, of course, nutritional yeast in there because it's going to be Rawmesan. And then we'll do some Celtic salt, or you can use Himalayan pink salt. Let's see what happens when I pulse this. More than pulsing it. That's why this is amazing though. It's going to be delicious, but it's going to be more like a Rawmesan. It's almost too Brazil nutty, but this is going to be amazing. So I have some little to-go containers. I'm going to just taste it right now. Oh wow, that's insane. Okay. So when you're giving this to someone to go and you don't have, I prefer glass, but this is plastic because I'm kind of out. Well, actually, I could clean this out. This is sort of old Irish moss that I didn't use it all up. Yeah, that's special because when you can give it in a special jar to people, that is really nice as well. That's super nice. When you can. If you can't, then just put it with love in the little plastic container, and I like to put like a little heart on it with a permanent marker. Do a little heart on the lid. Okay, that should be amazing. So then she'll have extra Rawmesan for the next few days. Putting that just to get it out of the way. Okay, so where's the Rawmesan? Oh, here it is. Okay, so is that dry enough? Okay. So it's just, again, if you have a pencil handy, it's Brazil nuts with fresh raw garlic, peeled, Celtic or a very good sea salt, your favorite sea salt, and some nutritional yeast. And baby, you're in business. Oh my goodness, that's so good. Now we have a little, kind of pounding that down. We have a little jar here. We have, let me get a paper towel. Kind of wipe everything down so it's pretty. Oh my gosh, I think I'm going to put the rest of the sauce. I'm going to kind of fill this jar. I could always just let her serve herself. Yeah, I could give the jar and the noodles in a jar too. That way, I can just pig out on mine. I can just sit here and eat this. That's fine. But then she kind of has enough for 2 days. Holy Maloney. Yeah, this is like, wow. So good. Okay. That's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure this is all dry and clean. So now she's got the sauce, Rawmesan, and then we need a container to put this in so she can make her own. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So I will show you in just a moment like a snapshot of it all.